You are in for an interesting ride.
This is the ET Newsroom, and this is Joanna Summerscales. It's the beginning of March, and I wanted to share a little bit of news with you that one of the leads on the Eklectia album has called me about. So I scrambled everything to see if I could catch him in America, in California, in between shows, in between interviews, and that is the father of surf rock, none other than Merrell Fankhauser. He's had floods, tornadoes, and almost as bad as here, though we don't have the tornadoes. He said, I'm doing some radio shows, and they're all having a space theme to them. Eklectia is the album that has the X Factor. The X Factor being those who've had encounters with extraterrestrials or other intelligences, or near as incredible sightings, spiritual, paranormal, something that has made them change and made an indelible impact on their lives. This unique international album has contributors from US, UK, and Canada. Now, the book is on its way. I'm about a third of the way through it, and all the stories from the interviews that I've done with the contributors will be in it. So look out for that in another couple of months. That'll be toward the end of April 2024. In the meantime, Merrell is doing his fantastic radio show in California, where he is, and it's doing really well. It's getting huge audiences, and he's going to feature the Eklectia album. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have any hard copies for sale, but they are amazing and they will be around again, as will t-shirts with that incredible headline about aliens and music. So look out for that too. In the meantime, I'll put the times and the information at the bottom, so be sure to check that. 2 radio shows where he is playing some of the Eklectia tracks. And some of you may know also that Eklectia is not just about music. It features people giving commentary like myself, Grant Cameron, even Chris Bledsoe. And thank you, Chris, for your amazing book, UFO of God. And I was looking all over for the part where the lady, the Guardian, talks to you about telling Grant that the message is in the music. So maybe that's in volume 2. Without further ado, let's catch up with Merrell in between his appointments, in between his interviews and radio shows. So welcome, Merrell.
You heard there was a tornado on the coast here of California, 2 miles from where I live, and I had no phone and no internet for a week and a half.
Oh, wow. It's wonderful to make contact again. Merrell, tell me what's been going on in your world. I know you've got a lot going on with the music stuff there.
Well, it's great to hear your wonderful voice, Joanne. It's been a while since we've talked, but there's so much happening. You know, it all started out with the Nicky Hopkins tribute movie a few months ago, The Session Man, and it had a big premiere in London, and it's still airing there and in Germany. Nicky Hopkins was the most fabulous piano player, and we became great friends when he played on my Return to Moo album, and then we did a concert together, and we were on television together, and bless his heart, he's passed away, and they're doing this tribute to him. He played on most of the Rolling Stones albums. He played on a lot of Beatles recordings and John Lennon's Imagine. He played on that. Oh gosh, the list goes on and on. He played Rod Stewart. He played on All the Girls I've Loved Before's version of that. And it should be in theaters all over the UK now, and I know it's in Germany. And I didn't realize they were going to do the LA premiere so fast. It's going to be this month, March 16th in LA, and then they'll start distributing it to theaters across the United States. But that wasn't supposed to happen till May. I've been doing phone interviews, email interviews all over the world, and I've been talking so much, Joanne, I've almost worn my voice out.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you said that you were doing a space music kind of feature over a couple of days, 8th and 10th of March.
Yes, it will be your wonderful produced Eklectia album
Yay!
with bands that all claim they feel their music was influenced by ETs. And, I played it when it came out, so it was on my radio show, which is now international. I get emails from listeners all over Europe, everywhere, Spain, Greece, Australia, South America, and of course all over the United States. It's really been going good for a couple of years nationally.
And I really am excited to be highlighting the fact that so many musicians are experiencers of one stripe or another, whether it's been the up close and personal interaction and even a band being taken, like Steve Boucher's from Canada, who is on the record label on the Eklectia album with his song Candle on the Table. And I mean, just some of the most incredible experiences, and musicians seem to be an incredible conduit for that, not only through their creativity and work like yourself. Your wonderful headlining song, Calling from a Star, features on right at the start of the album. It's a 2-disc album when we do have it out there available in the physical. It's the most beautiful artwork from Dan Vallely. The Stars Will Lead You is his contribution, and it really is absolutely excellent. So I'm really excited about this.
Oh, it goes back to even Elvis claimed he saw a UFO in Las Vegas. John Lennon saw one on the rooftop in New York, and I got to talk to him about that in person once at Harry Nilsson's. I've talked to Yoko on the phone a couple of times, too, because she told me when he came back from the trip out here, he was really liked my music, because Harry put me on the spot and made me sing some songs for the party that he had that night. And there was John and May Pang and 35 other people, and I was a bit nervous, but when he started talking to me from across the room, I felt relaxed, and then he motioned me over when we took a break and they were serving food and said, "Isn't it interesting where music comes from, and you'll get it in your mind, and then if somebody talks to you or you hear some other music, it'll go away." And I said, exactly, my best songs are written in 15 minutes, and he called it automatic writing. And that stuck with me, Joanne, all of these years.
But you too have experienced that, haven't you?
Yes, I hear the whole song, and John said, you never know when's going to come, and you get this feeling, and I hear the whole thing, words and music, finished in my mind. Then I got to run into the studio and just turn on a track and sing it into it so I don't forget it, and then figure out the music later. And it really is something. I can't really say where it's coming from, but it sure is a gift.
That's wonderful. And I do feel that most of the folks feel like that. And that wonderful book called Alien Rock, which you and Grant, I think, introduced me to, by Michael Luckman. And Grant's book, Tuned In, The Paranormal World of Music, was a kind of continuation of that. I mean, cites so many people, like Elvis. I don't apologize. I am an Elvis fan. I did love that voice. And I'm not surprised that he and his pa saw a UFO at least once, if not several times. But I also get the feeling that he wasn't quite from this neck of the woods. And I don't think he thought he was either. I think a lot of us feel like that, especially at the moment. Thank you very much for coming on and doing this quickfire interview on the hoof. So just let people know again where they can hear your fantastic radio show and any other contact information you want people to have.
online worldwide. It's at KYXZ.org. You can just type that in the computer and it'll come up. And I'm on every Friday at 2 o'clock California time. And then the same show is repeated on Sunday at 12:30. And that's KYXZ.org. It's been remarkable how many emails. I'll sometimes get 180 emails after a show has aired. And this whole month, I'm playing space-related shows. And the one that was on last weekend was my Signals from Malibu, which I know you know about. For years, they've been seeing these objects going in and out of the ocean off the coast of Malibu, California. And after doing some research and interviewing other people, I found out people had been seeing that since 1946, and then they did an underwater exploration, and in that area, Joanne, there's this huge, looks like a dome-shaped building with pillars, and you can see there's an opening in the front that goes in like a tunnel, and some believe that's an underwater UFO base. So I had that on, and then I'm featuring your wonderfully produced Eklectia album this Friday. That'll be the 8th and 10th, the 8th Friday at 2 p.m. California time, and the 10th Sunday at 12 noon. So don't miss it. And then following that, the weeks coming up, there'll be more UFO space-related music.
Well, that is really wonderful. And I think it's high time that we gave a bit more profile to this facet of the music world, because that's the whole reason that I created Eklectia with dear old Doug, who stayed around long enough to see it produced by a month and enjoy it before he needed to slough off this mortal coil and nip over to the other dimension. However, this is the year for Eklectia. I hope to really come out now into the public domain, and I'm working on it. I'm about a quarter of the way through the book, the Eklectia stories.
And then you're doing a video documentary also, right?
I have also completed now the first tranche of a documentary, the episode 1, if you like, which features in main the Brits.
They have, the Calling from a Star video that was shot at the top of Haleakala Crater, which was a popular UFO viewing spot where I saw with my whole band Moo a UFO with a whole bunch of tourists, and it was after the sun went down, and that was pretty impressive. But you could use that video. And remember, my good friend Peter Noon of Herman's Hermits sang on that song with me, along with part of Steve Miller's band. Look forward to meeting you.
I can't wait. It will absolutely be great. And so for everybody, the Eklectia album, whilst not available physically at the moment, it will be in time, but you can get it on Bandcamp and all the other usual platforms like Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, etc. There is a website as well. So thanks very much, Merrell, and very best of luck with the show. I shall be listening in for one.
Yes, and let me know after you've listened, an email or...
I will, for sure.
All right, Joanne.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much for calling.
Bye, Merrell.
Okay.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Merrell Fankhauser, and thank you, Merrell, once again for stopping by with me and ETN. So folks, have a look at Bandcamp, all those other kind of platforms like Deezer, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc. to look out for the Eklectia album, and you can choose which tracks you like, or perhaps all of them, including the sound bites. We even hear from John Martin, I Read a Letter, that he sent to President Carter when he was playing for him on occasion, and he explained about the huge craft that were coming over his property as he created this incredible telepathic contact with them. So I think this is a year for contact, one way or another. We've got some exciting things coming down the pipe. Be on the lookout for the Eklectia documentary. I'm looking at releasing that in the not too distant future. So lots of very interesting things on the horizon. Look out on the Eklectia website. There's lots of exciting stuff there. And you can also see Dan Vallely. He's our graphic designer and musician who wrote the wonderful song that I love so much called The Stars Will Lead You. You can see a graphic, an MRI scan of his implant. And actually, Grant will tell you, and has heard from Dr. Roger Lear when he was with us, that all implants are on the left. But in Dan's case, it's on the right. Who knows why? It's just another one of these anomalies. We don't know what we're getting into. So folks, enjoy and let me know what you think.